Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
Okay, a couple of things I want to talk about. So the first things first is some great news coming out of Israel, the Middle East. So we've got the hostages have been set free. The last 20 living hostages held in Gaza have been released, reuniting with their families in jubilant scenes as world leaders gathered in Egypt to discuss the future of Gaza and the next phases of the US brokered ceasefire deal. Lots of some very interesting ideas coming out of this. Very there's some very interesting opinions, I suppose. I'll put it that way, coming out of all this, what's going on there. Looking at who actually brokered the deal, how it all came about. You know, you've got Trump, you've got his son-in-law, seem to be, not seem to be, a major part of all this going on. It's very interesting what's happening over there. If you're a Christian, I think a lot of Christians are looking at this going, just wondering exactly what this means from a biblical, spiritual perspective. Even if you're not a Christian, as someone like Peter Thiel has proved, lots of people who are watching global movements at the moment and what's happening globally with when it comes to uh, world peace, safety, security, when it comes to AI, and where we're going to go with our global surveillance systems, everything that's happening, you know, like in the UK, trying to bring up ID, even here what we're doing in Australia. Everything seems to be coming together, converging, watching this convergence. A lot of people are looking at what's happening there in the Middle East, and it seems to all center around what goes on in Israel. It's interesting times, interesting to watch. Anyway, um, 20 living hostages. So what's happening is 1,718 Palestinian detainees who were being held in Israel without charge were released on Monday and returned to Gaza. Israel also released 250 Palestinians serving long-term sentences. Okay, so they've done all of this, so they can get their own people back. Addressing the Knesset, the Israeli parliament, on Monday during his trip to the Middle East, US President Donald Trump said the long and painful nightmare is finally over. This is a historic dawn of a new Middle East, he's told them. The remaining 20 living hostages were released in two groups on Monday, prompting elation and relief throughout Israel. Hostages in Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, large crowds cheered, waved flags, and chanted "Thank you, Trump" as news of the hostages' freedom was announced. Emotional scenes unfolded at the I don't know how to pronounce that, sorry, Re'im military facility in southern Israel, where the released hostages were reunited with their immediate families after more than 2 years in captivity. In footage shared by the US military, 24-year-old Guy Gilboa Dalla, who was kidnapped from the Nova Music Festival, was met by his parents and siblings. His family cried and embraced him in a large hug. So, absolutely just fantastic news. In his speech, US President Donald Trump called for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to be pardoned on corruption charges while declaring victory for Israel in its 2 year war in Gaza. He bathed in waves of adulation from Israeli leaders for more than an hour before giving his own lengthy speech to Israel's parliament on Monday. The local politicians hailed their guest as a hero, crediting him with achieving peace and getting the hostages home from Hamas captivity. Okay, so that's what's happened here. That's what's happened over there in the Middle East. I think it's just absolutely fantastic, fantastic news. Finally, we're seeing well, the possibility. They're calling it, you know, it's an end at the moment, but as you know, anything can happen over there, really. But just keep praying for this. Hopefully, this continues on. Okay, so just a little closer to home, I just wanted to touch on this story that came up, and we'll watch this quick video as well. So the federal police are investigating Lidia Thorpe over threat to burn down Parliament House. Federal police are investigating this. The senator compared the plight of Palestinians to First Nations Australians. Okay, as someone who is does have Indigenous heritage, I wish Lidia Thorpe would stop speaking on behalf of First Nations Australians. Seriously, see, just stop. Really, you got to stop. So she says, this is what she'd said, okay? She compared the plight of Palestinians to First Nations Australians, which is a load of garbage. Anyway, she said, so we stand with you every day and we will fight every day and we will turn up every day. And if I have to burn down Parliament House to make a point, Thorpe said on Monday. Let's watch the video together.
We will fight every day and we will turn up every day. And if I have to burn down Parliament House to make a point, I am not there to make friends. I am there to get justice for our people.
Okay, so that's what she said. The AFP's National Security Investigations team in Victoria began investigating almost immediately into whether the comments breach legislation. This will be done methodically, a spokesperson said. It is not known which legislation may have been breached. It is not the usual practice of the AFP to provide a running commentary of matters. I just want to say we've got these new, hate speech laws that they brought in. Are they only going to be used on all the people out there who are protesting? Are they going to be used properly? What are they going to do? Do you even agree with any of these hate speech laws? I don't think. I think they're dangerous. I think we're about to see them get ramped up, as I've spoken about previously. But I do honestly believe Lidia Thorpe is not fit to hold public office. Okay, it would just be really good if the people in the electorate where she's voted in would see the light and realize that she is not fit. She's not a fit and proper person. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think she is. I think her history, the things that she says, would show that she is not a fit and proper person to hold public office. She's not fit to be senator. She betrayed the party she started out with anyway, even though I don't agree with them. But she betrayed the party, which I hate it when they have one little argument, a bit of a conflict, then they pull the pin and say, oh, I'm going to be independent now. I've got what I want. I've got the seat and I'm getting all this money. So I'm just going to sit here as an independent and just mouth off and do whatever I say, do whatever I want. What do you think of Lidia Thorpe? I think she is, like I said, I just wish she would stop putting all this out, saying that she's speaking on behalf of Indigenous people everywhere. She doesn't speak on behalf of hardly any Indigenous Australians. That's just my own opinion. What up, Lidia Thorpe? My name's j-fallon. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope.
They just fuel a desire that will take me higher. I'm on fire because nothing's going